Okay, in the last of this three-part series on how to complete your color harmony studies, in the last video I showed you how to place the screenshot from Cooler Color. In this last step, I'm going to show you how to create your color swatches. So over here in the numbered column 3, it says base color, chroma, and create swatches. So I've already done part of this for you. Under base color, you're going to identify simply by identifying the named color of your base color, which you should know from the previous videos is this middle color with the white triangle. So my base color is red. Chroma saturation refers to how pure the color is. And if you've done the reading and watched the videos at this point, you should have a basic understanding that the chroma is dependent on how far out on the outer ring on this two-dimensional visual your color picker is. So this red is all the way out to the edge. So this color, this hue is at its purest. So it's 100%. If it was halfway in towards the middle, it would be 50%. If it was 3/4 of the way, it would be 25%. By the time you're 3/4 of the way to the middle, it's gray. We've almost lost all of the hue or color, and it's gray. So I'm thinking nobody should be that desaturated is the word we would use. The color is that desaturated. So now I've named my base color and the saturation of that base color. The next thing we're going to do is create the swatches. Now, again, in the video I showed you about Cooler, there's always going to be 5 color swatches that come out of Cooler. There's no getting around that. But it doesn't mean you have to use all 5. You can use all 5, or you might decide, well, I only want to use 2, or maybe I only want to use 3. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're only going to set up swatches in Adobe Illustrator of the colors we are going to use. Now you should have your swatches panel open, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my selection tool to select the first box to create my base color. And the base color is the red. I'm going to come over here to my eyedropper tool, click on it, and with this square selected, I'm going to fill the eyedropper tool up with that color. And notice it automatically filled the selected square with that color. And I think I also want to use the magenta. So I'm going to come over here and get my selection tool again. And notice that the keyboard shortcut is V. So I could have just pressed the V letter on my keyboard to switch from the eyedropper tool to the selection tool. I'm going to select the second box. This time I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut, which is I for eyedropper. And with that second square selected, I'm going to suck up the magenta color. And now that second square is filled. I'm going to select the V to switch back to my selection tool. Oops, move that box, didn't want to. I'm going to select I on the keyboard. And the third color I want to use is this less saturated or this lighter orange. So these are the 3 colors I want to use in my letterform color study for analogous colors. I'm going to leave the other 2 blank. All right, so now that we have the 3 colors selected, we have to create our swatches. So I'm going to use my selection tool and hold down the Shift key to select all 3. Whoops, I moved them again, so I'm going to say Command Z to undo that move. Now I can see I have all 3 of these squares with color selected. Now what I'm going to do is come over to my swatches panel, and in the flyout menu, that's what this is called, press down and say New Color Group. Make sure it's a color group. And I'm going to call this my analogous color group. And here I'm going to say create from selected artwork. And I'm going to say OK. And notice now over here, I have a folder, which is what the group is, with those 3 color swatches in them. Okay. And once you have all 6 of your own studies done, what you're going to do is we're going to then save all of our swatches for it to import into our actual Letterforms project. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to, when you're done with all of your groups, you're going to say save swatch library as ASE. And ASE stands for Adobe Swatch Exchange. And you'll notice it's a .ase file. I'm going to navigate to the correct document folder for my Letterforms project. And I'm going to save it in here. And I've already done this once, so that file's already in here. But you're going to click Save. It's going to ask me if I want to replace it. Okay. This is telling you that you can't use gradients, patterns, or tints when you use an Adobe Exchange file. And that's okay because we don't have any of those. So I've now saved out all of my swatches. Next, what you have to do is import that into your actual Letterforms file. Now, here's the file that I provided you guys. Mine's blank because I don't actually have any studies in here. I haven't worked on this, but what I want you to do here is with your swatches panel open, and again, if it's not open, you're going to say Window. Well, actually, you can just come here under Colors. Let me see, swatches. Oh, my swatches are not out. If they're not out, you say Window, Color. No, swatches, not color, it's swatches. Oh, there. So that's how you would get it out. And next, remember, we're going to delete all unused because that list can get really long. So I'm going to go into my flyout menu of my swatches panel again, and I'm going to say select all unused and delete it to kind of clean things up before I import my new swatches. And then I'm going to say open swatch library. Okay. And then I'm going to say other library. And again, I'm going to navigate to find that ASE file. So I'm going to say documents. I'm going to go find my Letterforms. And here's the ASE file. Click on it, open, and then you'll see it just brought in my Letterforms swatch library. And what I'm actually going to do, again, because I'm using my own Creative Cloud version, it actually brings it into my color library. Honestly, I don't know how this, I don't know how this is going to look on the student computers in the lab. If it's not in your swatches library, just click on it and drag it over here because that's where we want it. Okay, and then I'm going to close this. And now all of my swatches are in my swatches panel, so I can begin coloring the black and white versions. I'm going to copy them over here and start coloring them.